Welcome to 0x Unstuck. Today's challenge, a valid parenthesis. It teaches the single most useful data structure for interviews, the stack. We'll see why the obvious solution is wrong, then build the right one from scratch in Rust. Beginner friendly, I'll explain every piece. The task. Given a string of brackets, decide if they're correctly matched and nested. Sounds easy. And the first idea most people try quietly fails on a sneaky case. If you're learning data structures, really helps. Let's start with what valid even means. Valid means two things. Every opening bracket has a matching closing bracket and they close in the right order. A round square close is valid, but round square round close is not. The brackets cross. That ordering is the whole trick. So here's the idea. Almost everyone tries first. Just count. Add 1 for every opening bracket, subtract 1 for every closing bracket. If you never go negative and end at 0, it's valid. Let's code that and test it. We track a single number. Balance or set as +1 on any open, -1 on any close. If balance ever drops below 0, we bail, and at the end it must be 0. Clean. Let's run it on 4 test cases. Round, and round, square, close, true, good. But look, the round, square, close says true, and round, square, bracket, close says true. Both are wrong. Why? Round, square, close has 2 opens and 2 closes, so the count balances to 0, but the round bracket tries to close while a square bracket is still open. Counting never checks which bracket closes which. It ignores order entirely. We need memory of what's still open. Enter the stack. Picture a pile of plates. You add a plate on top, that's push, and you take one off the top, that's pop. The last thing you put on is the first thing you take off, that's called last in, first out, or LAEFO. And that's exactly how nested brackets work. The last bracket you opened must be the first one you close. Open round, open square. You have to close the square before the round. Last in, first out. The stack is a perfect match. So here's the algorithm. When you see an opening bracket, push it onto the stack. When you see a closing bracket, pop the top and check it's the matching open. At the very end, the stack must be empty. In Rust, we use vec as our stack. A push adds to the end, pop removes from the end. On any opening bracket, we push it. On a closing bracket, we pop the top and check it's the right partner. A close round must pop and open round. If pop returns something else or nothing because the stack was empty, it's invalid and we return false immediately. And the last line matters. At the end, we return whether the stack is empty. If there are leftover opening brackets, they were never closed, so the string is invalid. Let's trace the tricky one. Round, square, close, push round, push square. Now we hit a close round, so we pop the top, which is square. Square is not the partner of round, so we return false. Exactly right. It's another valid one. Round, square, close. Round, push, square. Close, square, pop, square, a match. Close round, pops round, a match. Stack is empty at the end, so it's valid. True. Run the stack version. Round, square, close is now correctly false, and round, square, bracket is false too. The valid ones stay true. Fix it. Notice the stack handles the edge cases for free. A closing bracket with nothing to match. Pop returns nothing, so false. Leftover opens. The stack isn't empty, so false. It all falls out of those 2 rules. Complexity. We touch each character once, so it's O in time. The stack can grow to the length of the string, so O in space. Simple and fast. The Rust pieces, a vec of chars as the stack with push and pop. Pop returns an option, sum of the value for known if empty, which is why comparing it to some open bracket handles the empty case automatically. Plus a match on the character and is empty at the end. Common mistakes. Only counting brackets, which we saw fails, forgetting to handle a close when the stack is empty, and forgetting the final empty check, which lets unclosed brackets slip through. The lesson is bigger than this problem. Anytime order or nesting matters, matching brackets undo history, the call stack itself, parsing stack is usually the answer. A recap, push opening brackets, and on a closing bracket, pop and check it matches. An empty stack on a close or a non-empty stack at the end both mean invalid. That's valid parenthesis with a stack. Quick one. If these help you, the wallet's on screen and there's a coffee link in the description. Every tip funds the next one. The full Rust code is in the description. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. A new coding challenge every day. See you in the next one.